Yes, sir. Welcome back. Red Boswell with IFPG. This is COVID-19 Franchise Leaders Respond. We're joined today by Dustin Hansen. Dustin is the CEO founder of InXpress. Welcome to the call today, Dustin.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. Thanks for having me.
Well, you're up in Salt Lake City. How are you? And I see you're working from home. How's you and the family handling things?
We're doing good. We're doing good. The kids are dedicated to school. We're making small adjustments here and there as a group, spending more time together, which is fun. But no, we're making adjustments like everybody is, but we're keeping our head in the game and having fun.
And what age you've got? I know you have three. What age are they?
Yeah, so I have a 12-year-old daughter, a 10-year-old son, and a 6-year-old son. So they're in that kindergarten to sixth grade range.
I am just ahead of you there, brother. I know it's a fun time and certainly a busy time. Well, kudos to you for working from home and taking care of them. I know there's a lot going on, so let's jump right in. InXpress, as we understand how you're responding, how you're leading your organization through this crisis, help us understand what is InXpress.
Yeah, so we're in the shipping logistics space, which is actually a good space to be in right now, to be honest. But our franchisees are going to businesses and helping businesses save on shipping and give them different routes and options to get shipments from A to B. So that's the type of business that we're in.
Wow. Okay. And I've actually we've had umpteen calls and conference webinars with all our consultants. We've got about 560. They're always asking, what categories should we be showing right now? And on the whiteboard over there, number 3, mailing and packaging services. So you are certainly in the right space, but no doubt still being impacted by this. How is your organization handling it? Let's not talk FranDev yet. Let's talk your current franchisees. What's going on and how are you helping them?
Yeah, it's tough for everybody. And our target segment of the market is small businesses. We're looking for folks that don't ship a lot, and that's when we can jump in there and save them money. And of course, small businesses right now are being extremely impacted. Many of the doors are closed. Many can't go to work. So what we have seen is our regular customers and regular types of shipments that were maybe, documents going from a customer of ours that they're sending overseas or whatever, that's all dried up, or it's at least significantly down. But what we've seen is our franchisees been able to adjust and adopt and be able to go to customers that are maybe trying to bring in medical supplies or trying to move freight shipments across the country. And so they pivoted by being engaged with their existing customer base, but also being open and still being active and trying to reach out to companies in the local area by phone, just saying, we're here, we can help, just let us know how we can help, we care, we stand ready to go. So that's some of the adjustments we're making. So our existing business is quite different. That's, again, kind of gone down, but our revenue and top line remains steady because we're able to go out and find the other customers that just need our help.
And are you seeing now that instead of going into the business, maybe you're, pick it up at the curb, leave it outside for us, not a little less interaction, but still getting that business?
Yeah, absolutely. So our carrier partners like DHL and our freight partners, they're going to these companies and they're just picking things up from the outside, or they're delivering things from the outside and expecting someone else to bring it inside. The good news is, of course, our franchisees, they work from home. They're on the phone. We don't actually touch the packages ourselves. So this is really not much of an adjustment for them because they've worked from home from the get-go. Even their salespeople and customer service people all are really home-based. So it's nice. Our franchisees haven't seen a major impact on how they operate day-to-day. They're just more on the phone talking to customers versus going in to visit them. But our carrier partners can be really flexible. And that's been one of the nice benefits of this is maybe our customers have closed up shop from their business location, but they've got some inventory at home. They have an e-commerce website they want to ship from their house. Well, we can direct our carrier partners to show up at their house, pick those items up, and still deliver them. So we're able to kind of keep our customers in business by allowing our the flexibility of the carriers to really shine.
Interesting. So how are you, the franchisor, and the franchisees together, how are you communicating during this time? Have you elevated any particular communication methods and any technology you can share with us on that?
Yeah, somehow this timing became both good and bad. So we were actually in the middle of an 8-week software migration where we have built our own software platform for the last 3 years and gotten ready to go. And we launched migration right as this coronavirus thing kicked off. And unfortunately, we were too far down the path to pull back. So our franchisees were already at a higher level of engagement with customers, walking them through the new logins and the new software package that our customers were using. But that created a great opportunity and a reason for our franchisees to be in, even more communication with those customers. So we have done a lot more via email and sending out daily tips and information, again, because our customers are small businesses. We passed on information about the CARES Act and how they can go get funding, which has provided value. But also just the fact that we're there trying to make sure that they have the latest information on shipment requirements, some of the surcharges that FedEx, UPS, DHL are charging for shipments coming from China or Hong Kong. So there's been a higher level of not only email information, but there was already naturally an increase in communication via the phone because of our software migration. And now we just bolted on, caring and sharing to our customers about the current environment and how they can make those adjustments and how we can help them.
Man, I'm hearing a lot of partnership type methodology here, really a mindset of they're our client. How can we help them? Let's support them any way we can. You're not charging them. You're not charging your clients for telling them more about the CARES Act and how they can benefit. You're just saying, kind of like we're doing today, how can I help? How can we I don't care about the cash and the revenue right now. It's about supporting the whole team, but whether the team is the ZOR, the Z, the client, everybody's just working together to survive during this process. Does that sound right?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So for our existing customers, our mindset in InXpress has shifted where our franchisees are mostly selling and customer service. We've shifted that completely. And the new banner is we're caring and sharing. And so we're making caring phone calls. And it's, hey, how you doing? What's going on with your business? Just trying to understand and pass along information that our franchisees are hearing from their other small business customers. And we're trying to cross-pollinate as much information, whether it has to do with shipping or not, because we want to help the economy. We want to help the general population within the U.S. And the way we can do that is by helping small businesses survive. And we're essential for that, not only from the cross-pollination, but of course the actual service that we're providing in shipping and in logistics. So it's a lot of how can we show that we truly care? How can we really share information so that everybody can work through and survive together? The overall banner is instead of selling, we're sharing and caring. And then our motto is survive and thrive. How can we help people survive, and how can we help ourselves and others thrive through this?
That's fantastic. Franchisors should take note of that. You've really not just doing it, but put a motto behind it, a slogan that everybody can understand what the purpose of this is. Both the internal team and the external consumer can hear what you're doing and the priorities and really understand you don't have some weird ulterior motive. This is just about helping you survive and thrive. I didn't hear, how many locations do y'all have?
In the U.S., we have about 108.
Okay. And are you elsewhere?
Oh, yeah, we've got almost 400 franchises scattered throughout 14 countries. So the U.S. is 100, UK, Australia, Canada, et cetera.
Wow. Okay. Well, we've got a sort of an internal rally cry. We're every day reminding each other, no ZOR left behind. Whether they're a client ZOR, we've got some 460, or just the other thousands out there. We want to do things like this, anything we can do to support the industry and help share best practices, because we're all in this together. In fact, we're using the tagline. You hear about it all over the place. Hashtag franchising stronger together. And we're seeing that all over the place right now. So, Dustin, what about FranDev? Significant part of any franchisor's business. You have got one of the greatest in the industry when you acquired Christina last year. How is she and the whole team handling being affected by this COVID-19?
Yeah, and I agree with you. Christina is a gem, and we are so lucky to have her on the team, no question about it. It's interesting, and I don't want to make it sound like it's all roses in InXpress, because we have challenges as well. But it's these times where, from a franchise development, we actually see more activity because we've got folks that maybe are out of work or wanting to take control of their lifestyle income for the future, and they realize they've been laid off or furloughed, and that risk exists now more than ever. They're looking for business opportunities. Well, here InXpress sits where we're a home-based opportunity, we're low investment, and we're an essential business. And in these times when small businesses are looking for places to cut costs, that's exactly what InXpress provides. So we have the opportunity. I mean, we have franchisees in New York who are, in a shelter. They're activating 9-10 customers a month still, because they're on the phone, they're making phone calls. We don't have restricted territories with our franchises, so we allow them to sell in different places, so it gives them that flexibility. So there's a lot of boxes that InXpress starts to check. And so when people become aware of, hey, there's something here I should look at because it actually fits these kinds of times, better than maybe others, we see an increase in activity. So yeah, maybe our existing pipeline for folks that were about to pull a trigger are hesitating a little bit. We see that, but we actually see a lot more influx of folks that are interested. So it keeps our team busy.
Yeah, Dustin, it hit me a moment ago. You are in all these countries. We're talking a lot about the U.S. and most of the folks I interview are, really U.S. specific. But do you see any big differences between what's happening here and what's happening in some of the other countries abroad that you guys are working in, or is it all pretty consistent?
Yeah, no, there's differences. I mean, we're in Hong Kong. We've got about 10 franchises in Hong Kong. And of course, our business went to zero for a couple of months and our franchisees hunkered down and now they're kind of getting back at it. And we're seeing that pick back up again. The Netherlands has been less hit. And so they're kind of still trying to operate as normal, but they're talking about doing some shutdown stuff now. The UK is in a shelter in place. And so we see different timings. Generally, there's some commonalities there, so we can feed and learn from what's happening. And because of some of the Asian countries that we're in, having gone through this first, I think it helped us to be ready in some of the other countries that are coming in later. So I think it's helped us. And so there's different varying degrees of impact, but there's some good general principles and impact that really apply to everybody across the board.
Okay, so I jumped off of the FranDev topic. Let me get back on there for a moment. Help us understand what's your overall investment for a new franchise candidate, and are you seeing a significant difference in where funding is coming from now with the whole SBA lending going crazy and 401ks going crazy the other way? Have you seen much of a change there, and help us understand the investment range?
Yeah, so investment range 65,000 to open a franchise. Again, we don't have a build out, we don't have inventory, so it really is 65 grand. You're all in. You're ready to open your business and get going. So there's not much cost on top of that. It might be a laptop if you don't have one, but I think everyone has one these days. So it's pretty inexpensive to get started and get in. I think a lot of the stuff we're seeing is SBA backed. There is some friends and family stuff. 401ks maybe going the other direction, but I think that's prompting people to go, okay, well, I can wait a while to see that stock market kind of return and get some of that money back, or I can pull that out now, even though I'm at a loss, and I can invest it into an InXpress franchise, and my return on that investment can be much quicker now than sitting in the stock market where maybe that wasn't the case 6 months ago. So we're seeing a lot more SBA stuff, but we are still seeing some stuff from a 401k perspective.
Interesting. And on the 401k, it's still going to be, if they start today, it's still going to be at least a month before they actually pull out the money. And we've seen folks go ahead and if they've already done all that work, they pull it out and then they start working on an SBA loan. And when that SBA loan comes in, they're planning on paying that 401k back pretty quickly. So there are some unique ways to continue moving forward for those candidates who have confidence that we're going to be back on top real quick.
Absolutely.
Speaking of back on top real quick, a quote I can't get out of my head was just this a few days ago. A franchisor, 10 brands, UFG said, Ray Titus of UFG said, he expects, he's an optimist like all of us, the entrepreneurs out there, franchisors. He said, expect to do 12 months of business in the last 6 months of this year with all the pent up demand and the people just ready to get out there and go after it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we see the same thing. We're calling it the wave. We think a wave is coming now. That wave might slowly build. It might look different for different industries. But specifically for us, not only from a franchise development, there's a lot more people out there that's going to be looking. And again, I think our model fits really well. But from a customer point of view, they're going to need us. And they need to get back to business. And they're going to have these orders that need to be shipped. And there's a lot of things that are going to need to be happening to get this economy restarted. And we saw the wave in Hong Kong, and we're seeing the wave in some of our other countries, and we're going to see the same thing here in the U.S. So you're definitely going to have a last 6 months of this year that's really busy, and hopefully maybe we get 7 months. Who knows? We'll see.
Understood. Agreed totally. So Dustin, as we wrap up, you've got a super busy day. Thank you for giving us this time. Any additional advice you have for franchisors out there, master licensees, trying to navigate these unknown waters?
I think from a leadership perspective, maybe I'll go that angle. I think as leaders, we need to be vulnerable. We need to let our franchisees know, hey, we're nervous too. We've got concerns and challenges. We've got to be optimistic but real. I get good feedback from my franchisees. I have made it a point for the last 3 weeks that I talk to every single one of my franchisees in the U.S. and Canada every single week. And it might be short calls, might be voicemail, might be quick, but and it might be long days for me. But there's no better time now than to communicate, get in front of them. Yes, recognize the challenges, and then see how we can look forward despite the challenges, and be open. Say, listen, I get scared sometimes. I put in long days. There's nights that I can't sleep. You're worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow, and things change so quickly. But if we're vulnerable, if we can connect and communicate, and if we can try to keep people looking forward, we're going to figure this out together.
So Dustin, I know Sandra's wrapping up here. What about your team? Have you had to lay anyone off? Help us understand. Are you doing anything with the royalty setup right now for your franchisees? How's that picture look like internally?
Yeah, no, we haven't had to lay one off at this point. We've been through a doozy. We had a big earthquake in Salt Lake last week. Our folks are working from home. One of our top executives is in the ER yesterday and today. So we've gone through the rounds for sure. But no, we tried to make adjustments for the franchisees. We're a centralized billing and collection model, so a lot of the cash runs through us into the franchisees' hands, and we've looked at different ways that we can help them, and we're trying to be there for the franchisees as much as possible. But we're in good footing at this point. Our franchisees are in good footing at this point, and we're looking at and watching that very closely.
Absolutely. Well, Michael Haith with Teriyaki Manis the other day was saying, Red, a franchisor who gives royalty concessions right now, the franchisees need us more than ever. Now, in your model, they certainly need you more than ever, but so far so good. Your franchisees have pivoted and they're doing well, but there's a lot of franchisors out there that are struggling, and franchisees and Zors, and the Z's need us, the Zor, more than ever. I just can't imagine not being a franchisee right now, trying to do it on your own without the support and accountability and the best practices and all the mind share that franchise organizations are able to take advantage of right now. And so he and so many Zors are just out there putting in the burning the midnight oil like they did when they first started. And I find my staff doing the same thing. My team here is just really going out. What can we do? How can we help? How can we share best practices? We're doing webinars daily. We're doing conference calls. There's anything we can do to get out there. So kudos to you for doing the same, my friend. Thank you again for your time. I know you're covered up today. Guys, we're joined today, as you heard, by Dustin Hansen, CEO, founder of InXpress. Thank you so much, Dustin.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Franchising, stronger together, my friends. See ya.